Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with another game update. We're going to mix that in with a workflow. Quick game update. We are back in ACF. We're in Unreal Engine 5, and we are using the Ascent Combat Framework again. I'm just not going to be able to open it up to modding like I wanted to, but I can deal with that. Uh, it takes care of all the actions. I don't have to dig so deep into C++. There's a lot of benefits to using it, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the asset that I already purchased. So we're back in ACF. There was a good bit of time spent going back and forth on that, so I'm behind schedule, but it's okay because I'm not that far behind schedule. Now let's talk workflow. What I am currently doing is building out Atlantis, right? And in order to do that, I need to be able to snap shit together. And so that's what I've been doing, is working out a workflow in 5.3 that actually works really well for me, and I wanted to share it with y'all. So we're going to do a modular snap system. I think I have this one set up, yeah. We're going to do the modular snap system, but we're going to tie that in with the modeling mode and creating a new asset out of the backside of it. Before we start, let's talk plugins, right? So if you go and you hit the little gear and you pop out your plugins, we are going to be using the modular snap system, which is, if you spell it right, modular snap. Let's do this. Snap. This modular snap system right here. Check that one, but don't restart yet. And then you're going to want to go into the modeling, and you want to turn on the modeling tools editor and the static mesh editor modeling. They're both beta. They're a little bit unstable. They're liable to change, but they're working really well right now, and they're probably not going to change them a whole lot. And they're really useful, and I'm going to show you all that. That's the whole reason why we're doing this. So enable those plugins, restart your engine, and I am using the Medieval Environment Pack in order. It's just got a lot of assets that's going to be very useful for me. It's got some wood assets, it's got some stone assets, it's got some curved assets. We're going to just set up some of these thin walls. So we're going to pull this out first. And the reason why we're going to pull it out, the reason why we turned on the modeling mode before we started. If you go up here and you click your little drop down, you should have modeling in there now. A lot of times when you import assets, there are problems with the assets, and you're like, that's just aggravating. I got this, now I can't use it. Or now it's more difficult. When you're trying to do the snap system, and let's go ahead and open up the snap system here for this one. What you're doing is you're taking a socket, and we're going to call this one wall. So if you hit the plus and you do wall, and this spawns at the origin point. And what you're doing is you're adjusting this in space to where it will match something else that says wall. Well, ideally you want this to be centered, and then you can make your distance variations from there, but you want it centered. And a lot of, like, this particular set of assets comes in and the center is not correct. It's not in the right spot. Modeling lets you fix that so easily, it's ridiculous. So if you select the item that you want to modify and you come over to the X form, little tab over here, and hit edit pivot, you can move it. If you hit center, it will center it, and if you put it at the bottom, it snaps to the bottom in the center of the asset. You can hit accept, and now your transform has moved. If we go back over here, now you see that my snap is in the middle of my pivot wall. That is so handy. Like, that alone makes the modeling worth it, but there is so much more that you can do in here, and I am not nearly qualified to tell you all of it. But you can edit the pivot and put it on a corner. You can edit the pivot and bring it up, down, however you want. But you can also deform your meshes through these various tabs. You can model your meshes. These polygroup edits I have used to open up these doors to allow my character to be able to enter. And you can do that without having to export from another program such as Blender or Maya or any of that. You can do it in here. Another thing that you can do, if you clear your out right here and you go to transform, I think it's transform, where's it at? The cube grid. This is an enormously handy tool. If you're trying to make a ramp, you can take this and pop out these cubes, and if you hit E, they come up. If you hit Q, they go down. This is like using Blender and extruding faces. You can do all kinds of variations of this. You can make these things larger and smaller by using Control and Q and E. And you can select individual portions of it. And then you can rapidly model things however you want. And all I'm doing right here is just hitting E and extruding. This is powerful. This is inside. It already has collisions enabled. It already has UV unwraps done. Now, you can modify your UV unwraps. I'm not there yet. I haven't got to that part of my own learning process. But there's a tab for that. That tab allows you to tap into this unbelievable power, right? What they have done with this is nullify, not completely because it's not, like it's still very much beta for this part. But once you can, I'm just going to get rid of this, but you can make a static mesh out of that and you can use it wherever. You can put your snaps onto that. It creates a whole nother mesh for you. All I really wanted to talk about on that today was the modifying the transforms to be able to put it here, right? And we've done the snaps before, so we're just going to go through those really quick. I'm going to pop back over here. The way these snaps work, right? This is the modular snap system. If you have this labeled wall, anything else that is labeled wall on the x-axis point, which we're going to hit a -90 right here, and make this fall downwards. This is Y or X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. So we just rotated this on. Let's look at it real close here so y'all can see what's going on. All right. So this green one right here is the Y axis. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out. I can put it back. Oh, this is the Y axis. This is the X axis, and this is the Z axis. So X, Y, Z, and we want to rotate this on this axis. So if you watch, the blue is pointed up and the red is pointed this way, right? Well, if we rotate this by -90, it's going to turn it on the y-axis like an axle, just like that. So the y stays the same and everything just turns this way by 90 degrees. If we would put +90, it would turn that way by 90 degrees. If you put 180, it goes upside down. You want your red to match. So we're going to set this back to 0, 0, 0. Bam, bam, because that's a whole lot easier than all them decimal points. Ideally, whenever you set this, you want this ball poking out about halfway from what you want to connect to, because it connects at the center point of that ball. But say, for instance, you were trying to make something match, right? And the edge was a little bit off. Well, you can raise this ball up and down using these numbers right here, the relative location. Say you need to move it up by 2. This is the Z, it will move up by 2. Put that back. Or say we need to move on the y-axis by 10. You can move on the y-axis by 10. Go ahead and put that back. Anything that it matches up to, it will snap to. So let's go back over here. These were already done, but if you have to move it twice to make it snap, right? But I have these set up where they will snap in different points. I think I got this one set up right. Maybe not, because it's a flat piece, but it'll set up to snap on each side. Maybe not. Okay, well, let's look at these then, because these are some I was playing with. But you can move them to where they'll snap at several different sections along the way. So we'll go ahead and pop this out and look at these. Right, so I have a floor, so it connects to another floor. They point out this way, but it has several different sections of floor, and they are moved incrementally. So We're starting here at 225. We move here, it's 150. We move here, it is 75 to 0. This is the middle of our turn. And then we start moving into, looks like I missed one. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate this out. And we're going to move that over on the Y by 75. No. We move that on the X by negative 75. Yeah. And it's just that simple to put them in. You want to save it. It's up to you to decide which point. I'm not going to take you through point by point trying to do all of these, but you can make these very, very complicated or very, very simple. You can put them on angles where they will snap and turn 45 degrees or 13 degrees or whatever you need it to turn. These modular snap things are very handy. But another thing that is very handy off of these is you can take these, and I have these as blueprinted static meshes, but it works as, well, actually, no, these are the actual static mesh. But you can take this and say, I wanted this to be a thing, right? I wanted this to be a mesh. Here's how you do that. You come up to tools at the top. Merge actors. That is your key right there. It will list all of the pieces that you have highlighted and allow you to put them into a single mesh. You get to choose what you want to call it. And then when you save it, this will go into my content folder. So it's just going to go straight on the top. And now we can close this out. I did not choose to get rid of the current ones, but you can. And then I can just pull this out. And we have a whole nother one to play with. Looks like it got put in a different texture, but that's okay. That's another little handy tool to know when you're dealing with these snaps, right? You want to build some prefabs, and I'm not keeping this thing because it's just a test anyway. But say you want to build a house out of the things that you have made and these snaps that you have put together, which is what I'm going to be doing. Then you can build prefab houses that you can just snap into place. And I'm going to build several different variations of several different types and populate this very large island, right? The island of Atlantis, this first segment, this is huge. There's going to be a lot in this. But we are about to start populating it. We're back to update part. If you were here for the tutorial, that was all of it. I'm at the point now where I'm about to start populating this so I can start firming up some storylines and getting those going where they need to go. And then once I have this populated, I will be diving back into the ACF stuff, getting I'm going to give him a chance to finish out the actions that he needed. Like, he still has a few spells he's working on to get into the system. I'm going to let him get that done before I try and implement the system again. It was very discouraging for me the last time when I spent all the time, I got the system starting to work, and then it updates and none of the systems work anymore. So I'm going to wait until I don't need to update anymore, and then I'm going to implement that part. That's not a big deal. I am still looking to expand the team, so if anybody is interested in being someone who does character animations, right? I'm not a fan of the meticulousness of having to do animations, but if you're looking at doing, say, cinematic photography and stuff like camera direction and that type of animation for cutscenes, and you want to join the team, let me know. The contact email is my contact email for the channel. If you're wanting to do some voice acting type things, shoot me an email. I don't have that quite ready yet, but I am looking to start filling that out. That's about all we're really looking to do right now. Like, I would like to get some 3D animators on board who could do customized character models. Like, I have a large selection that I have bought, right? I have orcs and goblins and all kinds of things that I have bought, but I need people to put those into practicality, to take these skins and make them for the game. and to get them attached to skeletons and all of that. I can do it. It's just time consuming. If somebody enjoys that type of thing, they want to join a team, this is where you do that. Uh, if there's a skill that you have that you think I might be interested in having on your team or on my team, let me know. Shoot me an email. I'm looking to expand the team and I'm taking all possibilities. Like, I'm the story guy. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get this story out there, but I'm the story guy. And that's where we're going to wrap this up. This was just a quick update and tutorial because it was what it was. If there was any questions or anything that I need to clarify, let me know down below. If I need to do another video, I will. Like, I was just trying to tie this together because it's quick and it's easy. Hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. Like, this modeling mode is a big deal, and if you haven't seen that and played with it and you're in Unreal, you should definitely check that out, especially if you are the person that goes back and forth. Like, I'm a Blender guy. I've been using Blender. This almost takes out my entire need for Blender. Like, if I can figure out the UVs, I have no need to go back to Blender. I can do everything I need to do inside of Unreal now. And once I get a firmer grasp on that, we will be getting into more tutorials for that, because that I can do. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, totally complete, just the way that you are. And this has been Pit State. Peace.